What is rationale? It's a common question which is asked by many, and most people don't understand its purpose in our day to day life. We notice that we have certain like aspirations which we aim to achieve, but the process, as we notice, is a really long, tedious process to achieve our goals. The intention of rationale, we intend to find rationale of life, rationale of our tasks, everything. With the intention to go from our current position to this goal. And we intend to use the most rational approach possible for the most efficiency. It's like in programming, our intention is to have the most efficient approach to achieve something. In this case, rationale increases the efficiency of us striving to achieve a goal. This will be through doing calculated rational decisions to further ourselves and to come close to our objective. Our intention currently is to understand these concepts significantly, and we aim to build a philosophical framework from these concepts. They may seem initially kind of detached from each other, but once they come together, it will be a cohesive framework, slowly but surely. But as we realize from the first thing, there's two factors of rationale. So there's emotional rationale and absolute rationale. Maybe rational from your emotional perspective to say like watch a movie or something. You may want to, but this is a really large misconception because it will be short-term benefit, but in long term it will not further you anyhow. We need to distinguish these like short-term rationales which will appeal to our emotions to the long-term goal of achieving whatever your aspiration may be. It doesn't matter like either it's like financial gain or it's to achieve some like feat in your field. It does not matter the field itself or what the objective is, does not matter. It's just the concept of achieving this. We need to now distinguish 2 points in our journey. The current point A, we'll call this current point A, and point B. And the concept is that we aim to progress ourselves forward. The most important things of life is progressing ourselves forward in whatever way. It could be achieving more goals, achieving more financial gain, whatever. It does not matter. The main process is to rationally think, do rational choices, what is the most optimal strategy to further oneself to this hypothetical point B. And our intention, we will later on in further videos expand this concept of A and point B. But currently our intention is to figure out what is point B and what is rationale in general. So rationale is the most optimal strategy to further oneself from this current position point A to this hypothetical point B. Why we're saying hypothetical? Because the process of continual growth. We want to continually improve ourselves. And that is the reason why we do not want to actually describe a value to point B. Of course, in this, we could use it as relatively, so you can achieve this goal, but the main notion, we cannot stop in one achievement. It has to, after one achievement, there's the next achievement, all that. And what we realize is, of course, we use the most optimal strategy, but as we see later on, every time you achieve one goal, there's another goal. And the concept of point B is simple, that it is infinitely away. And there's a really important purpose for this because our intention, we cannot be constrained to one objective. Later on, we will be next. And forever, it's a natural process. And we actually, of course, we could set like more short-term goals, but we need to understand that the achievement of point B is impossible. We use it as a hypothetical point of maximum achievement. And this is our intention. Our intention is to construct this hypothetical point to then strive to further ourselves. These will be using like rational approaches, how we will try to achieve this. And Using these most efficient methods will be the most statistically likelihood to achieve this goal. And this is the reason why I started with rationale. If you want to succeed as an individual, if you want to become a somebody, we will start with the main principle, the continual growth. Successful individual, we need to quickly describe success. Success is a relative state. Success is relative to the achievement which you took. So I could say I'm successful based on the fact how much, say, I worked for the last 5 years. And same can you. And the principle of success is not, it's not a constant point. You don't achieve success once and then everything is over. No, it's a relative point. And you can look back to the journey you took. That's the main thing. But we need to understand that this is, if we don't see success as an endpoint, for example, point B is technically like success, but the point of highest success, it's like power of infinity. But the notion is simple. We need to constantly progress as individuals. And still, this is the reason why we will, of course, we will recognize success, but relative success. And success, this is the principle why we become more successful as we live longer, because we achieve more in this time. The longer we live, the more we achieve in this time, the more successful we become, because it's relative. It's not a constant value. It's relative to everything which was previously. And we, to some point, we do want to achieve this state relatively, but we cannot be stuck on this state that we relatively think that we're successful or accomplished as compared to what our capabilities are, because current success does not represent by this constant, but it also does not represent our capabilities of future success. It can be worse or higher. But the main notion is the approach we must take is to understand these concepts of A and B, because these are goals, and the process of continual growth. And this will be done with almost any field, but this is the main principles which many people unfortunately do not follow nowadays. People mostly follow on like short-term objectives, emotional, rational, what they think will be, say, like the example of entertainment, all that. This is short-term focused, instead of focusing on long-term goals to progress oneself. And this is irrational. We will later on expand in the next video of rationality and irrationality. And the concept of irrationality is something that does not progress oneself to this further point B. And the main purpose of these, we need to constantly improve, but we cannot, if we do these like tangents to do other things, oftentimes this will be purely irrational, because we will basically be now stealing the time which we could have used to achieve our objective, which will be continual growth. And this is the concept where we're going to expand irrationality from this concept. Rationality, and so we now have a broad understanding of rationality, irrationality, point A, point B, and this will be a really good foundation for our further concepts. And of course, we'll expand these in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, and tomorrow will be the next video where we'll be expanding these concepts.